Oh, we've got an update today. Great news from British Columbia on religious freedom, freedom of association, and freedom of speech. Let me tell you what I'm talking about by asking John Carpay. You're the boss of the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms. You've been on the show a bunch of times. You have been fighting for the right of Trinity Western University, a small Christian-themed university in BC, to set up a law school. And these law societies across Alberta have said, your credentials are fine. Your academic programs are fine. These will be fine lawyers, but we're going to ban your graduates in advance without even meeting them because you have a Christian code of conduct for your students. So this has led to all sorts of lawsuits. Today, finally, a victory in BC. Tell me what I'm missing, or tell me what this means. Tell me the good news.
Well, we've got 2 out of 3 now. There was court action started by Trinity Western University in British Columbia and Ontario and Nova Scotia. Up until now, we had 1 in Nova Scotia, we had lost in Ontario, and we were waiting for the BC decision.
So all these provinces had banned the school. Ontario, BC, and Nova Scotia had all banned. 3. And so now we got to win in Nova Scotia and we got to win in BC.
So we got 2 out of 3. Now, unfortunately, it's not over yet because the decision in BC is likely to be appealed to the BC Court of Appeal. In Ontario, we've got Ontario Court of Appeal, Nova Scotia Court of Appeal. I think this one's really going to end up in the Supreme Court of Canada. But it's good to have another victory. So we got 2 out of 3 on the trial level, and hopefully we'll see better results in Ontario and the Ontario Court of Appeal.
It's really amazing to me how brazen the rationale for these law societies is. I mean, they're not pretending. They're not saying, oh, you're not teaching law properly. They're not saying that. They're not saying, oh, these won't be good lawyers. They're not saying that. They're saying because you have a Christian-themed student code of conduct, in advance, without meeting anyone, we are going to ban you. Like, they are not hiding the fact that this is an anti-Christian bigotry. They don't ban lawyers in Canada who went to school in, let's say, a Muslim-themed university in Cairo or Pakistan. This is or a Jewish-themed university. I mean, there's universities in New York City, for example, Jewish university with fine law schools. Only Christians are being banned. This is incredible to me how anti-Christian the law profession is becoming.
Well, it's also ironic that if you go to Notre Dame University or Brigham Young Mormon University, you get your law degree there. There's no issues. You come back to Canada, you do have to take some Canadian equivalency courses, but once you're done, the law societies are fine with that. But they can't stand a Christian law school in Canada. Yeah. It's okay to have Christian law schools in the U.S.
Well, that's another weird thing. And you can have an undergraduate degree from Trinity Western.
Yes, absolutely.
And get a law degree elsewhere. Or you can be a super religious Christian at a secular university. Like, it is so punitive, so arbitrary. And I know some of these lawyers, like Clayton Ruby, one of the guys leading the charge. He is a radical Marxist, activist, busybody, very punitive. I mean, these guys are not driven, in my view, by a sense of we want to bring equality. They want to keep Christians out because they want the law to be the exclusive domain of leftist activists. And the fact that there might be a Christian lawyer out there just burns them up.
Well, it is. It's an attack against freedom of association because, as you know, and as your viewers know, they try to say that the Trinity Western Law School discriminates against gays and lesbians because they have an across-the-board policy that you cannot be sexually active outside of the marriage of one man and one woman. But ironically, anybody who chooses a traditional sexual morality, if they go anywhere else, if they're individuals, the law societies say, well, that's fine. And yet when these same people say, well, we want to live together in a religious community while we're studying law, and then all of a sudden it's wrong. So it's an attack on freedom of association, and that is one of our fundamental freedoms. And that's what the Justice Center, that's our particular angle. Yeah. We're one of, there's other interveners as well focusing on religious freedom, but we're focusing on freedom of association. Yeah.
Well, we are delighted to support you, and by we, I mean our viewers especially. We've sent you several checks. I don't know the total altogether, but it is such an honor to cut a check to you to help, because I mean, you're not making a lot of dough here, and you've got other lawyers you got to pay. Everyone's on salary, so you're keeping the cost down. This is a win, but as you said, there are appeals. The bad guys will not stop. This is going to the Supreme Court.
Well,
how much do you think fighting the next appeal will cost? Is that a $50,000 thing?
When I consider the lawyer's time, when I consider the cases in BC, Ontario, Nova Scotia, so Court of Appeal in 3 provinces, I mean, over a period of a year and a half, you're looking at tens of thousands of dollars in the big picture, because it takes a lot of research. You've got to get your factum prepared properly and so on.
Let's help you. We've helped you before. This is a victory. And I want folks to celebrate the victory by helping you for the next round, because the bad guys are going to take this to appeal. If you can, go to therealbigots.com, therealbigots.com, because they're the real bigots. That's what these law societies are. They're the ones who are being discriminatory. So that's therealbigots.com. You won a round. Congratulations, John. Let's win the next one, too.
I hope so.
Right on. Nice to see you.